Will the Boston Celtics be the first team in the NBA to repeat as champions? The Golden State Warriors did it. I have a feeling the league might be in trouble with this Boston team next year. I'm going to tell you guys why. But before we get into that, if you guys enjoy the video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I got much more basketball content coming your guys' way. Not only that, football season is right around the corner. We have preseason that kicked off. I do plan on putting some football type of content out as well, so you guys can stay tuned for that. But as far as today's video, I'll tell you guys why I feel the league is going to be in trouble, right? And number one, it starts with their two superstars for the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. Both of them are going to be having a chip on their shoulders this upcoming season. Starting with Jaylen, right? Not being selected on the Olympics team. He already was coming into this past season with the chip as far as not being considered one of the top two-way players in the league, not having that fan base behind him, media, all the doubt. And clearly he's shown and proven what he was able to do with that chip on his shoulder, right? But not being selected on the Olympics team twice. Derek White ended up getting the nod when Kawhi was out with an injury. And clearly Jaylen, he expressed his frustrations behind not being selected. He felt like it had to do with, you know, some politics behind the scene, because he felt like he is, of course, one of the top 15, top 20 best players in the NBA. Then of course, from a Jayson Tatum standpoint, right? Jayson Tatum, he should have a chip on his shoulder. Not winning finals MVP. You know, a lot of people consider him the best player on the Boston Celtics, but you know, Jaylen ended up winning, you know, both the Eastern Conference MVP and the Finals MVP. You know, there was a lot of chatter, you know, trying to divide those two. So I feel like he's going to be coming with that motivation. And then, of course, yes, he did just end up winning gold on the Olympics, but for the most part, he was riding the bench throughout the Olympics, and trust me, everyone was clowning on him through social media. Every time there was a timeout, there was always the memes, say Jayson, yo, pass Embiid some water, hey, yo, get Braun a towel, etc., etc. So you know he's gonna hear that. You know they're gonna be in they're gonna be on all over his social media pages throughout the rest of the season until the NBA begins. So I feel like he's gonna have some extra motivation going into this. Which, of course, not only that, you know, the statistics say typically players, you know, post Olympics, they have one of their best seasons in their NBA career. And it's easy to understand that, right? You're with the best players in the world over a 6-week period. You can see how they prepare. You practice with them every day. You're soaking up knowledge for some of the greats. You got Steph, you got Braun, you got KD. So you got all these great players surrounded around you that you see every single day over a 6-week period. So it's just, how can you not improve your game overall over this time period? So I feel like Jayson's going to definitely come with a much better season and try to prove the doubters wrong going into next season, which it's going to be very, very scary for the league. Not only that, the team pretty much remains the same. It is intact. Of course, Porzingis is still recovering from his injury, which I believe he's not going to be ready for the first half of the season, but that's okay. I mean, the way that team is currently constructed, I feel like they can do well, you know, not having Porzingis. They're not going to take a huge dip by not having him in that production that first half of the season. They're really going to need him on that second half, that final push as they get into the playoffs. So I think that's still going to work out well with them once he comes back. I don't think that's going to be huge impact. Still have, of course, Drew Holiday, which is one of the most underrated players in the entire league, aka Bucks. What were you thinking? We'll never know. But you still got Drew Holiday. He's not going nowhere. You got Derek White. You got Big Al. So you still got your core players. And as far as the Eastern Conference, yes, you know, the Knicks has gotten a lot better. You know, the Bucks, if they remain healthy, the Bucks will still play a factor. Miami Heat will always be in the mix if, of course, they stay healthy as well. They always challenge Boston. I just think the matchup between Miami and Boston, it's always a tough series. And then, you know, we'll see what happens with the 76ers. I know PG's on the team. We got Joel Embiid. Even though Joel Embiid, I'm not sure if he's 100% healthy. He just seemed a little bit sluggish throughout that run in the Olympics. A little bit slow, so maybe I don't know if he's kind of still overweight a little bit, or there's some nagging injuries he still needs to recover from. But It's still to be determined with the 76ers. You can never really necessarily trust PG when it's time in the big moments, but Tyrese Maxey, he's an upcoming star. I trust that kid. I think he's definitely going to be a superstar at some point in this league from a point guard position. But just looking at the landscape of the East, I think it's still Boston, right? I think Boston is still in the top dog seat, and with the amount of doubters and the fear that they're going to be bringing upon this league in this upcoming season, I feel like they might be in trouble. I can't really see a team knocking them off, especially going into next year, unless injuries happen, right? And you got to keep that into consideration. I'm looking at it from the perspective of, if everyone stays healthy, who will be able to challenge Boston and prevent them from getting back to the finals. And then when you look at the East, it's a little tough, right? You got 3 to 4 teams. Outside of that, I think it might be a cakewalk for them, right? I think they might go on a little run here, at least a 2 to 3 run. And Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're not going anywhere, right? So I think they're going to be having some extra motivation. I feel like they're going to be tough to beat. But what do you guys think? What's your guys' opinion? Do you guys have Boston getting back to the finals? And if you do have them getting back to the finals, do you have them winning the finals? And if you don't, leave your reason down below in the comment section. I'll be more than welcome to check it out. I'm always in there responding to comments. I do appreciate the support I do get on these videos. I have much more content coming your guys' way. Catch you guys on the next video. Peace.